Have you ever looked around at the people in your life and wondered, do they really care about me? The kind of care that shows up in their actions, not just their words. Because here's the truth, not everyone who smiles in your face has your back. Not everyone clapping for you is clapping because they're happy you've got people who'll cheer you on. Just see how close you'll get to the edge, hoping you'll fall. And that's why we're here today to talk about the signs, the behaviors, the little clues that reveal who's really in your corner and who's just taking up space in your life. Because let me tell you, life is too short to spend it with people who don't care about you. It's not about being bitter, it's about being better. It's about protecting your peace, guarding your heart, and knowing when to let go of the folks who don't have your best interests at heart. So let's get into it. Let's pull back the curtain and shine a light on the 8 behaviors of people who don't care about you. Because once you know what to look for, you'll never waste another moment on someone who doesn't deserve your time. And trust me, this is one lesson you'll carry with you for the rest of your life. Let's dive in. 1. They only come around when they need something. Let's start with the most obvious one, the people who only show up when they need something. You know the type. They're like fair weather friends, appearing out of the blue when they need a favor, but the moment the tables turn, they're nowhere to be found. That's not care, that's convenience. And let me tell you something, real relationships aren't built on convenience. They're built on mutual respect, trust, and support, the kind of foundation that stands firm even when the winds of life get rough. When someone only values you for what you can do for them, they're not valuing you. They're valuing the benefit they get from you. You're not a friend in their eyes, you're a resource. And the moment you can't deliver, they're gone just like that. That's not friendship, that's exploitation, plain and simple. True relationships thrive on give and take, not take and take. It's about being there for each other. Not just when things are good or when there's something to gain, but especially when times are hard. Pay attention to who sticks around when the chips are down. Those are the people who truly care about you, not what you can provide for them. So, what's the takeaway? Look out for the ones who only call when they need something, the ones who ghost you when you need help, but show up when it benefits them. Let them go. Save your energy for the people who prove they're there for you through thick and thin. Those are the ones worth your time, your effort, and your heart. Because real care, it's a two-way street. 2, they downplay your successes. Now, this one cuts deep, doesn't it? You've achieved something significant, a promotion you worked tirelessly for, a new business you poured your heart into, or even a personal milestone that means the world to you. But instead of meeting you with excitement and genuine pride, they shrug it off with a dismissive, "Oh, that's nice." Or worse, they twist it into something about themselves. "Well, I've done something like that before." As if your moment isn't even yours to enjoy. Here's the truth. People who don't care about you will struggle to celebrate your Zella wins because your success makes them confront their own insecurities. Your progress becomes a mirror reflecting what they feel they lack. And rather than being inspired, they choose to downplay your achievements as if dimming your light will somehow make theirs shine brighter. But hear me when I say this, your light is not up for negotiation. You've put in the work, endured the challenges, and earned every ounce of your success. Don't let anyone make you feel small just because they're uncomfortable with your growth. You are not responsible for their insecurities. Your achievements are a testament to your perseverance and talent. Never let anyone minimize that. Surround yourself with people who clap for you when you win, who genuinely take pride in your success without turning it into a competition. Those are your people. The ones who uplift you, who encourage you to keep reaching higher, who stand beside you without envy or resentment. And if someone can't do that, let them go. Protect your joy, celebrate your wins, and keep shining, because your light isn't just for you, it's for the world to see. 3, they constantly criticize you. There's a world of difference between constructive criticism and constant criticism. Constructive criticism comes from a place of love and genuine care. It's honest, thoughtful, and meant to help you improve. It's the kind of feedback that builds you up even as it challenges you. But constant criticism, that's a whole different beast. It doesn't come from love, it comes from control, jealousy, or insecurity. When someone nitpicks everything you do, it's not about helping you grow, it's about keeping you small. They point out your flaws, amplify your mistakes, and undermine your confidence because they benefit from your self-doubt. It's a way to hold you back, to keep you second-guessing yourself, so you never reach your full potential. That's not care, it's sabotage disguised as concern. Now, let me tell you something. People who genuinely care about you want to see you thrive. They don't just accept your imperfections, they celebrate your progress. They offer feedback to elevate you, not tear you down. They're the ones cheering you on even when you stumble and encouraging you to keep going. But those who constantly criticize, they're not rooting for you, they're holding you back. And the moment you recognize this pattern, you got to take a step back. Protect your peace. Set boundaries. You deserve people in your life who uplift you, not those who chip away at your confidence. Remember this, the right people in your life will challenge you. Yes, but they'll challenge you to be better, not to feel lesser. So surround yourself with voices that inspire, encourage, and believe in you. Because when you silence the noise of constant criticism, you make room for the kind of support that helps you rise to your full potential. 4, they don't respect your boundaries. Boundaries are the cornerstone of every healthy relationship. They're not walls to shut people out. They're lines that define what's acceptable and what's not. They safeguard your peace, your time, and your energy, 3 of the most valuable resources you have. But when someone doesn't care about you, they'll ignore your boundaries like they don't exist. They'll push and push, testing your patience and taking more than you're willing or even able to give. Here's the truth, boundaries are a reflection of self-respect. When you set them, you're saying, this is what I need to feel valued and respected. But for some people, boundaries feel like an inconvenience. They see them not as a request for mutual respect, but as a challenge to overcome. These are the people who will try to guilt trip you for saying no, manipulate you into overextending yourself, or disregard your limits entirely. And when they do, that's your red flag. Because here's the thing, every time you set a boundary, it's a test of the relationship. If someone truly respects you, they'll honor that boundary without hesitation. They'll understand that it's not about rejecting them, it's about protecting yourself. But if someone disregards your boundaries, that tells you everything you need to know about how they view the relationship. It's not built on mutual respect or care. It's one-sided with them taking and you giving. You can't build something meaningful with someone who doesn't respect your limits. That's not partnership, that's exploitation. And you deserve better than that. So don't be afraid to enforce your boundaries. It's not selfish, it's necessary. The right people will respect them, and the wrong ones will show their true colors when faced with them. And that's a blessing in disguise, because it frees you to invest in relationships where you're truly valued. Protect your peace, stand your ground, and surround yourself with people who respect not just your boundaries, but also your worth. 5, they're never happy for you. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a moment where you shared something you were genuinely proud of? Maybe you got a promotion, reached a personal goal, or finally achieved something you've been working hard for, and instead of the excitement you expected, you were met with indifference, negativity, or even jealousy? If you have, you know how disappointing and disheartening that feels. That's a major red flag, my friend. The people who truly care about you don't just show up during the hard times, they also show up to celebrate the good ones. Real friends, real supporters, are those who cheer for you when you're winning. They don't need to understand every detail of your journey to celebrate your happiness. They're genuinely glad to see you thrive because your joy brings them joy. But people who don't care, they'll find a way to twist the situation. Maybe they'll brush it off like it's nothing. Oh, that's nice, they'll say with no real enthusiasm. Or maybe they'll downplay it with a comparison. Well, that's not such a big deal. I've done something like that before. Worse yet, they might even criticize your accomplishment, making you question whether it was worth celebrating in the first place. That's not support, that's toxicity disguised as a response. Here's the harsh truth. Some people just can't handle seeing others succeed. Your light might mark their own shortcomings, their lack of progress, or their missed opportunities. Instead of using your success as motivation for their own growth, they choose to project negativity. And if you're not careful, you might find yourself dimming your light just to make them more comfortable. Don't do it. Life is hard enough without having to shrink yourself for the comfort of others. Your wins, no matter how big or small, deserve to be celebrated. You've worked hard for them, you've sacrificed for them, and they're yours to own. The people who truly care about you will understand that. They'll clap for you when you succeed, not because they have something to gain, but because they genuinely want to see you happy. Those are the people you need in your corner. Now, let me tell you what happens when you surround yourself with people who don't celebrate you. Over time, their lack of support can chip away at your confidence. You start questioning whether your accomplishments are worth sharing, whether your dreams are worth pursuing, and whether your efforts are even good enough. That's the danger of keeping toxic energy close. It doesn't just dampen your spirit, it can derail your progress. On the flip side, when you have the right people in your life, their support becomes fuel. Their excitement for your success validates your hard work and encourages you to aim even higher. They're the ones who remind you of your worth, who inspire you to keep going when the journey gets tough, and who make the victories even sweeter. So what's the takeaway here? Pay attention to how people react to your good news. Watch for the ones who clap when you win and steer clear of those who look for ways to bring you down. Protect your energy because it's too precious to waste on people who can't celebrate your happiness. Surround yourself with people who genuinely care, who lift you up, and who make you feel proud of your accomplishments. Life is meant to be celebrated, your life, your wins, your journey. Don't let anyone take that away from you. Keep shining and let the right people bask in your light. And if someone can't handle your brightness, well, that's their problem, not yours. 6, they gossip about you. This one's a no-brainer, but it absolutely needs to be said. If someone talks about you behind your back, they don't care about you. Period. Gossip isn't just idle chatter, it's a form of betrayal. It's a deliberate act of undermining someone, of trying to chip away at their character when they're not there to speak up for themselves. It shows a lack of respect and an absence of loyalty, two things that are fundamental in any meaningful relationship. Think about it. When someone spreads rumors or shares your personal business without your consent, what they're really doing is prioritizing their need for attention or validation over their respect for you. They're willing to sacrifice your trust just for a fleeting moment of entertainment or approval from others. That's not friendship. That's not care. That's selfishness. And here's the kicker. This is the part we often overlook if they're gossiping to you about someone else. You better believe they're gossiping about you to someone else. It's a cycle. People who thrive on gossip rarely stop at just one target. They'll smile to your face, share juicy tidbits about others, and then turn around and do the exact same thing to you. It's who they are. And the sooner you recognize it, the better off you'll be. Protect yourself from those kinds of people. Pay attention to how someone talks about others when they're not around. It's a window into how they'll treat you when you're absent. Surround yourself with folks who will defend your name in your absence, people who speak highly of you and who hold the same loyalty and respect for you that you give to them. True friends don't gossip about you. They stand up for you. They guard your reputation as fiercely as they would their own. Those are the kinds of people you need in your corner. And the rest, let them go. Because your peace, your trust, and your integrity are worth far more than the company of someone who doesn't value them. 7, they're unreliable. You know the type. They tell you what you want to hear, making promises with all the sincerity they can muster, but when it's time to follow through, they're nowhere to be found. It's a pattern, a consistent disregard for the weight of their words. These aren't just empty promises, they're a reflection of how little they value the relationship, your time, and ultimately your trust. When someone consistently lets you down, it's more than just an annoyance, it's a message. It's a signal that their priorities don't include you. And while that truth might sting, it's a reality you can't afford to ignore. Relationships, whether they're friendships, partnerships, or family bonds, are built on trust and mutual respect. When those foundations are shaky, the relationship becomes more of a liability than a source of strength. Think about it. How often do we overlook small signs of inconsistency in the name of loyalty or hope? We convince ourselves that they'll come through eventually, or that the promise is sincere, even if the follow-through is lacking. But the longer we hold on to broken promises, the more we compromise our own well-being. Every miscommitment chips away at your confidence in the relationship, and over time you start to question your worth in it. True connections are nurtured by actions, not words alone. When someone values you, they show it through consistent behavior, not just hollow statements made in the moment. They demonstrate their commitment by being present, reliable, and accountable for their promises. Anything less creates a dynamic where trust erodes and resentment begins to build. So what do you do when faced with this type of situation? Recognize the red flags, set healthy boundaries, and don't hesitate to walk away if needed. Your time and energy are precious commodities, and they deserve to be spent with people who genuinely honor and respect you. Because at the end of the day, relationships should uplift, not weigh you down. Let's be honest here, your time and trust are valuable. They're not things to be handed out lightly. And when someone repeatedly disregards them, it's a clear sign that they don't see their worth. Time is one of the most precious resources we have. It's finite, and once it's gone, you can't get it back. So why spend it on people who can't even respect the effort you put into the relationship? Dependability matters. It's not about expecting perfection from people. No one is flawless. But it is about expecting consistency. When someone tells you they'll be there, they should mean it. Their actions should back up their words. That's how trust is built, not through grand gestures or fancy words, but through the simple act of showing up time and time again. You deserve better than to be left wondering where you stand with someone. You deserve relationships that bring clarity, not confusion. People who value you will demonstrate that value through their actions, not just their words. They'll make the effort to show you that you matter because they know your worth and respect the role you play in their life. Now let's talk about respect. Respect isn't just about politeness or surface level kindness. True respect runs deeper. It's about valuing someone's time, feelings, and contributions. When someone consistently lets you down, they're showing you a lack of respect. They're telling you in their own way that your needs and expectations aren't a priority to them. And that's not something you should ever tolerate. Here's the thing: when you tolerate being let down over and over again, you send the message. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow. If you keep giving chance after chance to someone who doesn't follow through, you're essentially telling them that their behavior is acceptable. But you deserve more than that. You deserve relationships that uplift you, not ones that drag you down. Walking away from someone who repeatedly breaks promises can be difficult, especially if you care deeply about them. But sometimes letting go is the most loving thing you can do for yourself and for them. It sets a boundary and sends a clear message: I value myself too much to settle for less than I deserve. And in doing so, you create space for the kind of relationships that truly enrich your life. The people who truly care about you will prove it through their actions. They won't just make promises, they'll keep them. They won't just talk about being there for you, they'll show up when it counts. And those are the people who deserve a place in your life. 8, they drain your energy. Finally, let's talk about energy. Have you ever been around someone who leaves you feeling exhausted? Like they've sucked all the life out of you? That's an energy drainer. And let me tell you, energy drainers are dangerous. They'll take and take, leaving you with nothing left for yourself. They'll bring negativity into your life, weighing you down with their problems and complaints. And the worst part, they rarely, if ever, give anything back. You've got to protect your energy, my friends. It's not just a nice idea, it's a necessity. Your energy is one of the most valuable resources you have, and how you spend it will shape the quality of your life. Spend it on the right people, and you'll find yourself uplifted, inspired, and full of life. But spend it on the wrong people, and you'll feel drained, depleted, and questioning your worth. That's the reality, plain and simple. Now, I know this might sound harsh to some of you. Maybe you're thinking, shouldn't we try to see the good in everyone? And yes, seeing the good in people is important. But there's a fine line between being understanding and letting people take advantage of your kindness. Life is too short to waste on people who leave you feeling empty, undervalued, or used. It's not about cutting people off just to prove a point. It's about creating space for the right people to come in. The ones who genuinely care about you. The ones who inspire you. The ones who make your life better, not harder. So let's be clear about something. This isn't selfishness, it's self-respect. When you set boundaries, when you prioritize your peace, you're not just protecting yourself, you're honoring yourself. And that, my friends, is one of the most powerful things you can do. Now, here's the thing: not everyone who smiles at you is your friend. Not everyone who checks in on you is rooting for you. People can say all the right things and still treat you wrong. That's why it's so important to pay attention, not just to what people say, but to how they make you feel. Watch their actions, especially during tough times. Because it's easy to be there when everything's going well, but the real test of a person's character is how they show up when things get hard. Look for patterns, not isolated incidents. People will show you who they are if you pay attention long enough. If someone is consistently dismissive, unreliable, or draining, that's not a one-off, it's who they are. And ignoring it won't make it go away. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. Your gut doesn't lie, But too often we ignore it because we don't want to face the truth. We want to give people the benefit of the doubt, even when they've shown us they don't deserve it. Let's talk about boundaries. Boundaries aren't walls to keep people out. They're guidelines to teach people how to treat you. They're a way of saying, this is what I will and will not accept in my life. Setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable, especially if you're someone who's used to putting others first. But boundaries are essential. They're a form of self-care, a way to protect your energy, and a declaration of your worth. You have the right to set boundaries. You have the right to protect your peace. And you have the right to walk away from anyone who doesn't value you. That's not being cold or unkind, it's being wise. It's recognizing that not everyone deserves a seat at your table. And that's okay. Because when you let go of the wrong people, you make room for the right ones. Let me tell you something about the right people. They're not perfect, but they're consistent. They're not always going to say the perfect thing, but they'll show up when it matters. They won't just tell you they care, they'll prove it through their actions. These are the people who uplift you, who inspire you, and who make you feel like the best version of yourself. These are the relationships worth investing in. On the flip side, there are people who will take everything you have to give and still leave you feeling empty. They'll take your time, your energy, your kindness, and give nothing in return. They'll make you question your worth, your choices, and even your sanity. These are the people you have to let go of. Not out of anger or bitterness, but out of love for yourself. Letting go isn't easy. It's hard to walk away from people you care about, even when you know they're not good for you. But sometimes, loving someone means loving them from a distance. It means wishing them well, but choosing not to let them drain you. It's a tough lesson, but it's a necessary one. Because your peace is too precious to sacrifice for someone who doesn't value it. Here's another thing to remember: you teach people how to treat you by what you allow. If you let someone disrespect you, they'll keep doing it. If you let someone take advantage of your kindness, they'll keep taking. But when you set boundaries, when you say, this is what I deserve, you're teaching people how to treat you. And the ones who truly care about you will respect those boundaries. They'll honor your worth because they see it. Now, let me leave you with this: life is too precious to spend it on people who don't care about you. Surround yourself with love, with support, and with positivity. Build relationships that nourish your soul, not ones that drain it. Choose people who lift you up, who celebrate your wins, and who stand by you in your losses. And always, always remember your worth. When you stand tall, when you set boundaries, when you prioritize your peace, you're not just protecting yourself, you're creating a life that's fulfilling, joyful, and free. And that, my friends, is what you deserve. So stand firm, know your worth, and never, ever settle for less. Because you, my friend, are worth it. Thank you.